I think the thing is too, is don't get discouraged if you're not where you want to be. Trust your process and trust in yourself to make it happen eventually.
You're absolutely right. It's all about trust, man. If you don't believe in yourself, it does not happen, bro. I'm telling you right now. Cool. All right, cool, man. And excuse my background, dude. I'm gonna call myself the traveling podcast because I'm all over the place when I'm trying to do this podcast, dude.
I love it.
So I got Dante Stone here with me today. Dante, what's up, man? We haven't really talked much in a while until like lately, right?
What's going on, Kevin? Yeah, man, it's been quite some time since we've spoke, and it's I saw you just absolutely crushing it. So I saw you absolutely crushing it, and I was like, oh, I haven't talked to Kevin in a while, so I reached back out to you and we just reconnected. You know, like it was nothing, like it was like we've been talking for years. So it's good to connect with you, man. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm super excited.
No, dude, I'm excited. I appreciate you, being one of the first to do this with me, dude. I started this podcast and I'm just excited. I just kind of want to get to know people, their businesses, entrepreneurs, and their journeys, right? There's so many amazing stories out there. And we all have, somehow, all these stories are very similar, but they're still different, right? Everybody has their own individual thing going on.
Absolutely. It's like the triumph, the pitfalls and the triumphs that come with being an entrepreneur almost on a daily basis. It would seem you could just have a great day and then you could have one email come in that just almost is like feels defeating, but it's really about how that feels so defeating, but it's about how you handle all of these roadblocks and hurdles that come in that really help you build your character and help you sustain your business, I think, for a super long time and continuing to show up every day. I mean, we talked about it earlier today that you have to continually show up every single day for yourself, for your clients, for your business in general, to help it grow and to make it grow.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest lesson I think I've ever learned is you have to continually show up above like all the other tips and tricks that you could get or scripts or outreach or sales tactics or anything. It's really just about showing up every single day because it's gonna compound over time.
And it's hard, man. It's hard to show up every day. It's hard to like constantly. Sorry, fix my computer here. It's hard, like there's days that you don't want to get out of bed and deal with this, right? And you see, oh man, I got 6 sales calls today. Am I gonna get 6 no's? Am I gonna, or am I gonna get somebody telling me like, oh, fuck off, or right? Excuse the language, but it's the truth, man.
It's the way it is.
It's the way it is, and it's definitely very defeating. I mean, you're one of the few people I've talked to since I started the program when I met you back in June, right?
Yeah.
And we're almost a year in, man. Almost, pretty close to a year since I started that, and I think you are one of the few people who know a lot of my journey was like, there was a lot of moments I wanted to quit. And there was a moment where I did that, pretty much quit, right? So I disappeared.
I think what was so amazing about your story is when you decided to, I don't even want to call it quitting, but like taking leave, I suppose, just going on break and being like, okay, listen, I need to figure out my priorities. I think what was really cool for you was you shattered all these limiting beliefs of what I need to do and what everybody else is telling me to do. And I'm just going to do what I do best. And I'm going to do what I know is 100% right. And what I think would be a great business opportunity for me and for my clients. I think that was what was so cool about you and your story.
Yeah. Tell me, we can talk about my story in a little bit, but tell me about your story, Dante. I know people want to know. That's why I have you here, right? I want to know about your story.
So thank you. So how we got started. So I have a business partner as well. Isaias Puentes. We started our agency we're coming up on 2 years now. And we were really young when we started. We were 19 when we filed for our LLC.
That's crazy, man.
It's not incredibly young compared to some of the other people
How old are you now, Dante? You're what, 21?
22.
That's insane, man. Dude, if I would have started this when I was 22, that's hey, props to you, dude. That's awesome. So go ahead, keep going.
Thank you. So Isaias and I used to work together. We still do work together, but we work together in restaurants. My background is in hospitality. I worked in restaurants from when I was like 12 years old all the way up to being 2021. And when the agency really started to take off, COVID hit, and then we found a lot of newfound success in our agency. But moving past that, he walked into work one day and he was like, I was in a weird, I was in a very strange period in my life when we had started this business. I had just moved. So in 2017, we had these massive wildfires come in through California. And me and a few other people that I knew, some really close friends of mine, their neighborhood and my big apartment complex that I lived in burnt down due to these wildfires in 2017 in Northern California. So it was less than a year. So for 3 months after that, I was living with we'll call her my sister. I was living with my sister, Amanda, and her family. She's not my biological sister, but we're so close. I was living with her and her family for 3 months. And then me and my mom moved in together into this little studio apart. We moved in this little studio apartment. We were living in there for probably another 3 months until we found a new place for us to set up shop and call home, I suppose. So I was really torn about what I wanted to do with my life, because I was so depressed from losing everything and then having to start over. And I still had my health. Looking back, I sold my health, my car, I saved my car and things like that. I still had a good job. So that was amazing. But it was just the overbearing weight of so I was a single child, and I had placed myself, and then going from that to living in a house with 7 people was quite the mental shift. So overcoming that, and I was at work one day, and my partner walked in, and he was like, I was like, what'd you do today? And he's like, oh, I did some stuff for a client. And I was like, oh, you did some stuff for a client? What did you do? And he was talking about how he was building a website for this client that he had picked up. So we started talking about marketing, because I was going to school for marketing at the time. And basically what happened is he was like, well, it sounds like you know quite a bit about marketing. I was, yeah, I studied it. So we just formed our LLC about 3 months later. After that, about a month later, we filed for our LLC. And then probably about 3 months after that, we got everything. We did all the wrong things, I suppose. So especially when it comes to starting a digital marketing agency, the number one thing you need to do when you're starting a marketing agency is you need to get a name and figure out how you're going to get clients. That's it. All the other stuff, having a website, having like some cool, interesting branding, you really don't need it until you have clients. Because then once you get clients, you know what I mean though? Like
hey, dude, I think 90% of us do that, dude. I think 90%, unless you've been in, sorry about that. Unless you've been like in some type of program to show you otherwise, dude, that's what we all do. I did the same exact thing, dude. I was like, okay, let me figure out how to get clients. Let me figure out how to get all these results. Let me get a website going. Let me build out my logo. Dude, it was like, no, I think majority of the people I've spoken with, that they all do the same thing, dude.
It's stuff that makes you feel like you're pushing the needle forward, but you're really not pushing the needle forward, because the only thing that's gonna push the needle forward for your business is revenue coming in. So you need to get revenue coming in as soon as you possibly can. And we knew nothing about picking a niche to focus on. We knew how to run Facebook ads, but we didn't really know anything about how to pick a niche to focus on, how to get clients, how to sell to clients. I had never had a sales job before, and now I do all of our sales. We've had some really, really great revenue months because of that, just because of learning. So I would say for all the new agency owners listening is, don't worry about getting a website up. Don't worry about picking a logo, brand, or anything like that. Pick a niche that you want to focus on, that you want to work with, and try as hard as you can to get clients in that industry, and really do whatever it is you have to do to get clients. If you got to do free trials, if you have to get strategic partners, give somebody a free month, they just pay for ad spend, whatever it is you got to do to get your first couple of clients and get some traction, you got to do it. And then all that other stuff will come later, I promise. Yeah,
man. Excuse me. I'm right with you, man. I went through the same struggles, and I definitely understand. So how'd you end up in so you guys partner up, you guys had everything going. How'd you guys end up you guys had the restaurants. So how'd you guys end up with where you're at now? Because right now, and excuse me, for those who don't know, I have an agency, but I'm also a financial advisor, right? And you're aware of this, and right? And I'm really good at working with business owners.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of accountants. So it's kind of funny that, how'd you end up in that accountant niche, right? How'd you end up doing that?
We started working with, so we had bounced around from a couple of different industries, and then COVID hit, and we said, we should work with a industry that's going to be, come hell or high water, that industry is going to be around and it's always going to be there. So we had spoken to a few people we'd spoken to a few tax professionals who guided us in the right way. And it seemed like it was going to be a really good industry and niche to get into. So we started looking into that. And then we started looking into, okay, how can we help serve these people at a really high level? So what it eventually came down to was what we've learned now is most accountants and accounting firms don't need digital advertising. What they really need is a strong way to ask for more referrals and get known online. That's what's going to be huge for them over and build trust with a current clientele base and the kind of clientele base they want to work with, as opposed to running ads. Running ads does work. However, at the end of the day, you got to have good reviews. You got to have a nice blog. You got to have some way to build up that trust so people want to come and speak to you.
Yeah.
So that's what we mainly focus on with our clients, is not necessarily 100% on the advertising side, but more on the, hey, let's fix your overall digital presence. Because if you Google accountants near me, most of them won't have reviews or have a good website. So, hey, we got to fix that. We got to get that rocking and rolling for you.
Yeah, I gotta hit you up. I gotta get on that Google review stuff, man. So, but yeah, dude, that's really cool though, man. And accounts is a niche that they're always around. People are not the best with numbers. Business owners themselves are not always the best with numbers, right? I learned that, with even my niche, right? I'm in real estate, and I also do a lot of B2B stuff now because I'm very blessed to. I have a cousin who's been doing this for 11 years. So now I have a team of 35 people, dude. All I got to do is send them his way and they take care of everything for me. So I'm pretty lucky there. But it's all these business owners we talk to, nobody knows how to manage their money, dude. And that's something I know that for a fact, because I guess that's where I do have the advantage with a lot of these kids that are doing marketing agencies, right? I did do finance for 10 years before I started doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So I know numbers. I know how to run. And this is something me and you discussed in the past, right? Like one thing that differentiated me from everybody else was I know how to run a business, because I've learned from business owners. I knew how numbers worked. And that was the easy part for me, right? The harder part was kind of letting go though, because you're right. You have to just get clients, man. That's the biggest thing. You have to get clients. And from there, you kind of just learn the rest, right? I was so worried about like, oh man, how am I going to get results? Oh my God. So I think that's what most people worry about. It's like, oh my God, how am I going to get results? And I don't know, man. Like, it's just like anything else in life. Just figure it out.
It's about figuring it out. And then it's also trusting in your own beliefs to be able to figure it out. And saying, hey, all right, well, we've gotten clients now. What do we do? How do we figure out results? And we'll go figure out how to get results. Because now that you have income coming in from a client, you can pay for a Facebook course. You can pay for a consultant to come in and help you. You can pay for, private lessons to learn how to run your ads better and get your clients much better results. But it's all about getting that initial revenue coming in first, so you can serve your clients at a much higher level. Because that's really what it's all about. We were talking about it today we were talking about it and hearing about it today, that agency owners really live and die by the results of their clients. Mm-hmm. So it's on you to always make sure that you're getting the highest results possible for your clients, and you're always operating with your client's best interest in mind. I mean, we've ducked into profits to be able to have more ad spend to make sure we get clients better results.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to duck into profits of 1 month than to lose that client for another 3 months, right? Like, you can keep that client you can make 500, instead of making 1,000, you might only make $500 a month from that client. But hey, you're going to be able to keep them for another 3 months,
100%.
I'll maybe even a year, right? Whatever, I'll take that over losing a client any day, 100%, and that's big time. I think sometimes people You know, one of the biggest misconceptions with an agency, and I think I even had this myself, was you're gonna get in there, you're gonna start making money fast, and you're gonna get to keep that money. And that is not how it works, man.
Further from the truth.
And I think a lot of people in the industries as well, because they've been burned by people that think that way, you know, they have this mistrust towards agencies. They don't take agencies as real businesses. They don't believe that they're a real business, right? And I think little by little that's changing, but it's still, you know, something that's really hard, you know, because it's hard to trust people, right? You talk, and a lot of these folks that own businesses, they're older. They're not used to the digital world, right? Not all of them are young and used to the digital world. So, but that misconception, man, has burned a lot of bridges for a lot of us, right? It makes it very difficult because people get burned and people go through their money and they just take it. But no, it's really, it's like a real business, man. You have to put your own money in, man. I'll tell you this right now. I just hit 6 figures about 2 months ago. I have not touched any of that money to myself. Every dime of that money goes straight back into the business, dude.
Right back
100%.
in.
Yep, 100%, dude. There's no. My VA makes more money than me right now.
My assistant, no, 100%, dude. My assistant makes more money than me. She was like, I don't like to call her our assistant because she's so much more than that. She's really our whole outreach manager and coordinator. She handles all of the outreach for our business. It's much more than just, I suppose, assistant work. Plus we want to really, plus in our company, we really want to elevate people and make them feel like they have a much cooler title than potentially like what something actually is. So outreach manager, but she handles all of our outreach. She's fantastic. But she was traveling more than I was. She was bouncing around. She was in Mexico and then she was in Hawaii. We hopped on a Zoom meeting for a team call and she's on this like lavish beach in Hawaii, hanging out, me and my business partner in our rooms, like chugging away on our laptops 14 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's what it takes. So that's the thing, you know, it's like, you know, like last night I was in a meeting at 6:30 at night. This guy's like, that's the only time I can meet, dude. But he was like, I got a $2 million business. You think I'm gonna say no? Dude, you want to meet at fucking 12 at midnight? I'll meet you at 12 at midnight. I'm cool with that.
Oh, of course. I've gotten up at, I've had meetings at 8 a.m. on a Saturday with clients who are like, hey, I can only meet at that time. It's good for me. They're on the East Coast and they're like, I can meet at 11 your time. And I'm like, or I can meet at 11 on the East Coast time. And I'm like, yeah, man, let's do it. I'll book you in. I'll see you there. I'll see you there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I know, I don't want to mention names, but I know an agency owner who takes calls at 2, 3 in the morning. I'm not kidding.
Do they live in a different country?
No, just different stages, the time zones and stuff. It's sometimes that's just the way it works. And sometimes, you know, they'd have to take calls like at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And you know what? She killing it.
Crushes it. I imagine.
So I you know what? The hard work pays off. Unfortunately, you know, eventually though, you do hit that zone, and this is something that most people need to understand. And I think a lot of people, that's something I learned the hard way as well. Like I said, I had to take a step back, and I'm really glad that I did. I saw things differently, right?
Yeah.
You know, I try to make this about everybody that's on here, but for sure, I know that you've asked me this before, and Facebook, and I haven't really answered it. But when I left. When I stopped talking to everybody around like late December, kind of just was like, you know, I need money, dude. So I just went back to working my job. Luckily, I hadn't lost it because I was commission only. So, you know, but that's something I knew I was good at. I knew I was good at that. So I was like, I need to make money. I got a kid. I live in California. You live in California. So you know how it is here, dude.
It's hard out here.
Yeah, and I got a kid.
Expensive out here.
I was like, dude, I put myself in so much debt. I couldn't figure out this agency stuff. I got to go back to work. And, went back to work, man, and dude, it was good because it humbled me to realize that, because I had closed so many clients in the very, very beginning of when I started the agency, and then I couldn't get results and I lost them, and then it just kind of crushed me. And even though I was good at sales, no matter how good you are at sales, if you don't believe in yourself, it does not happen, bro. I'm telling you right now. And I just didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my agency. Did not care. So I was just like, it just crushed me, dude. And yeah, man. And it was really, really fucking hard. And then I kind of kept it going part-time, you know, on the side and stuff. And little by little, kind of rebuilt myself. But yeah, dude, that was like the biggest thing was that I learned from that was it's a real business and it really does take time and you really got to invest in it, you know. I'm just very lucky that I found what works for me the best, and everybody needs to understand that what works for Dante and what works for me and what
Isn't going to
works
work for them.
for somebody else might not work for you. Does not mean you can't learn from them, right? Because like, you know, like right now, no lie, I probably will be bugging you pretty soon because I need some help with my ads. My ads are not doing the best right now. My agency ads. But you know, that's the cool thing, man, is you gotta understand that. You gotta understand that it does not work. Whatever works for somebody else, it may not work for you.
I think that it's such, like, so many golden nuggets in there. I think a big thing, like major key takeaways, and we had this as well, is don't be afraid to take a step back to be able to take steps forward. Whether that's you've been working so hard and you feel super burnt out and you're like, look, I really just need to take a day off. Take that day. Rest and relaxation is different than being lazy. So I'll say that, number one, don't be afraid to take a step back to be able to take steps forward, and then find because I think what really changed for you and me both is we found something we were passionate about. And what I see from a lot of agency owners who are really crushing it, even in incredibly saturated niches. I mean, you and I both know someone who's doing, he just did, I want to say like $40K a month in gyms, and gyms is one of the most saturated niches possible. And
COVID's going on too.
And COVID's happening, and he's crushing it. But because of his passion for that industry and for that niche, he's able to convey that to his clients so much more, that he really cares, and he works so much harder for them and for their results. So you absolutely have to find something as well that you're passionate about and that you really want to help people with. The more you come from a place of service, the absolute better. And I think the more it'll shine in your sales calls. Go ahead.
People catch on to that, man. People, the problem with a lot of agency owners, and I'm not trying to badmouth anybody, not at all. I respect every single person who takes a risk and tries to start an agency.
100%.
But the problem with a lot of agency owners, and honestly business owners in general, any business owner, is they start to see people as a number and not a person. And that is a big problem, because people see through people, right? And people buy from people sometimes. Like, I kid you not, man. Omir will hopefully watch this. I will buy anything that motherfucker sells me. No matter what. I'll buy it from him. If he, I don't even care if he don't even work for Joe anymore. He works somewhere else. I will buy because I trust him. I know that he looks out for me. He looks in my best interest. He will never sell me anything that he doesn't feel like will benefit me, or that it will actually help me, or just do anything for me and my family, because he knows I have a daughter, you know? So that's how it is, man. People buy from people. And I learned that when I worked at the bank myself, right? I used to work at Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is not always the best bank, but people would buy from me because they wanted to buy from Kevin, not from Wells Fargo, you know? And that's big, you know? And with that also, like, you know, the other thing that you were saying with, you know, the being at $40,000 a month in the gym industry and liking what you're doing, you're 100 on that, man. You have to like and have some type of passion for what you're doing, understand that industry a little bit. And more than anything, also understand yourself. You have to understand yourself and where you want to be, because maybe, you know, Dante's at $100,000 or $200,000 a month, and he's working day and night, and he loves it, and he's 22 years old. But Kevin has a daughter, and he's a single dad, and he also runs a second business. So his goal may not be to be $200,000 a month, because now there's absolutely zero time for me to do anything, right? And I'm not saying that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying every person has a number where you want to get to, and you get to that number, and you kind of, I think as you go up in the agency world, right, you kind of decide how much more you want to evolve into that person, because you're going to sacrifice something, and you got to give something up.
We're not at $100,000 to $200,000 a month, by the way.
No, I just want
to put that out there. We're not there.
No, I just used that as an example, but
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. We had when I was in school, we had a guest speaker come in. This dude was he was a financial advisor as well, but this guy was handling like big accounts. This guy was handling like huge, massive, multi-million-dollar accounts, like generational wealth. This person was handling, and the best thing that I took away from him was, people were like, well, why don't you want to become a millionaire, like multimillionaire? Like, why don't you want to scale and grow? And he was like, I don't want to do that, man. Like, I have 3 kids at home. I'm really comfortable with the amount of money that I make right now for me and my family. I'm really comfortable with the lifestyle that I have. And I'm really comfortable with the clients and the workload that I have. So it's really about finding that balance as well of how much do you want to make and grow and scale. Because some people love their work so much and they just absolutely need to be a part of it 24/7 and you'll never be truly hands off from your business. But it's really about how much do you want to
be involved.
Like we have one of our mentors, he's pretty hands off. He's still kind of involved, but for the most part, he's essentially hands off so he can focus more on his other businesses that he has such a deeper passion in.
Yeah. No, and everybody has a different goal, different things, right? They want to do. Like for me, like, yeah, I do want to get to that 200, 250 because that's what's going to let me be hands off, right? So for me, that is my goal. But now I got to see how long it may take me, right? Because I have other things going on. So it may take me a little longer than some people, right? And it may take me, maybe it won't take me longer because I do also have access to another business that already profits, which gives me money that I can take and, put into this business. So it just depends, right?
I think the thing is too, is don't get discouraged if you're not where you want to be in what you feel is a good time frame. Like say you start your agency, or you've been doing the agency for 6 months to even a year, I would say, and you're not 100% at where you want to be, and it's your first business and it's your first time learning all of this new stuff. Well, yeah, it might take you a little bit more time than someone like yourself you've been in finance for 10 years. So you can immediately step in, you've run other businesses before, so you can come in and have a better understanding of what it takes to run a business as opposed to someone who's brand new, just starting out. It may take a little bit more time. And I think going back to like comparing yourself to others and looking at what other people are doing, oh man, he's doing 100K a month, he's doing 40K a month, and it's super saturated. And it's like, what am I doing? We don't see what goes behind that. We don't see what that person has been through time and time again. And maybe we had someone who came in and what they do, they did they got up to like 10K in 3 weeks. It was amazing. However, that person had been in sales and was a sales beast and had been in that industry that he now serves for 5, 6, 7 years. So he was just transferring all that 5, 6, 7 year work and labor that he put in to this new business that was allowing him to scale. So
yeah,
just trust your process and trust your process and trust in yourself to make it happen eventually at some point. Because I mean, they super cheesy, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And if you give up, then there's no way it can happen.
And you're right, man. And it really just depends, right? Everybody has a different timeline. I mean, because then even like you said, like me, I understood all the business aspect, but yet there was people that came in and just blew it up, and they're way ahead of me, and I understand the business aspect, right? And they're doing a lot better than me in the agency world, right? Everybody's different, man. And I did pretty well like the first month I started, and then I ate shit for like 8 months, dude, maybe 7 months. I don't even remember how long it was. And then I basically didn't really quit, but made it very, very part-time. And then then I focused on other things, and then I kind of started focusing more on it. And, I kid you not, just surrounding yourself with the right people is what makes a difference too, and like when it finally started taking off, dude, it was crazy because everything just clicked. The agency in less than 2 months went to 6 figures, and I did way more in less than 2 months than I had done the entire whole time since I started back in June. Right. And it was insane. It was crazy because, that's not like I had no, like, and then I had, like you said, I had this idea of how business works, and I had money and sales and all that stuff, and it didn't matter, dude. I fell face first. Right. And, but you just got to get back up, dude. And if something that you really want to do, you're going to find a way to get back to it and do it again. And if it's something you really don't want to do, then that's good though. Don't take it as a bad thing, because now you know that that's something you don't want to do. So now you're not going to waste your fucking time doing it.
100%. I think that's a big, huge misconception that people have is I think it's okay to realize, hey, this isn't for me. I mean, we see, I don't want to name names, but you and I both know someone who who is just a sales killer, just an absolute beast at sales. And they tried to start their own agency, and they realized that having an agency just wasn't for them. Sales was for them. So they just doubled down on sales and continue to do sales. And I mean, now they're just insane.
Yeah,
however,
you gotta find what you like, man. It's sometimes
that's self-awareness.
That's like for me, I realized that I kept trying to learn the back end stuff, right? And now I actually do like it. I like a lot of the technology stuff and stuff. But when it comes to actually getting results for the ads, doing this stuff for that, that's not my thing, man. It's not my thing, And I learned that, it's funny, but the biggest lessons I've always learned in my life has always been YouTube. It's hilarious. I always think it's funny about that. But when I quit my job about 2 years ago, I watched a YouTube video with Joe Rogan talking about quitting your job. Next day, walked to my office, quit my job, dude. And
you didn't even think about it. You just quit. You were just like, I'm doing this. Yeah, Joe Rogan said so. I'm doing it. He makes a good point. He makes a good argument.
Joe Rogan looked buff in that video and told me to I'm out of here. So that's actually, and I kid you not, that's a real story. Story for another day, but that's a real story. That really did happen. And then the next time, I flew out, and only a few people know the story, but I flew out to San Diego because there's this guy named Omir, who only a few people know, right? But who had been there for me a lot throughout this whole agency thing, right? There was one time, dude, I literally told this guy I was about to quit. He told me to jump on a Zoom while he was in Mexico at the beach having a good time. I don't pay this guy. He had no need to do that for me. He got on the fucking Zoom and basically told me, look, man, I'm not going to tell you not to quit. But you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, is that really what you want to fucking do? Because if you're even thinking about quitting, then definitely it's not fucking for you. And it really hit me, dude. And he told me he was going to move to Colombia. And I kid you not, dude, he told me like on a Wednesday or Tuesday that he was leaving to Colombia. On Thursday night, I bought a plane ticket to fly out to San Diego to meet him before I left.
Before you left for Colombia?
Before he left to Colombia, dude. I got there on Friday, hung out with him and this other guy. And, dude, that changed my entire perspective of everything. Dude, when you surround it's cool when you see people online, but when you see people in person, it truly makes a difference. So now, like, every month, I got a trip planned. Every single fucking month, dude. And before the summer's over, I'm gonna head out to Pennsylvania because I know about 3 or 4 agency owners out there I'm gonna go see. And I'm just trying to just basically meet these people. And dude, it made me realize when I came back, I was like, on my way back, another YouTube video, right? I was at the airport watching YouTube, and this YouTube video came up with Steve Harvey, right? Not really a fan of him, but I started watching it, and he's just talking about find what you're good at, find your gift, and focus on that, and stop trying to do 100 other things. Focus on what you're good at, right? I'm already a very faithful person. Don't get, I'm not trying to push that on anybody. Everybody has their own.
It's just your beliefs, of course. Yeah.
But that's me. I'm a very faithful person, and I got more faithful after watching that, and I was like, man, he's like, I should probably just do that. So I met Omir, watched that video, got back, and literally all I have focused on since that day is 2 things that I'm good at. Talking to people, because I just like talking to people, and people like talking to me for some reason, right? I don't know why, because I'm pretty ugly, but people love talking to me.
They just like your voice.
And then in sales, I'm good at talking because people trust me. And when I sell them something, I don't sell them something that's not going to benefit them. If I will disqualify you before I sell you something that's not going to benefit you, because there's no point, right? And I don't sell people something that I wouldn't do myself. So everything I sell, I do. So if I sell you something in investment stuff, I do it. If I sell you marketing, it's because I run ads for my own self,
Believing in, you have to really believe in yourself and in your product. I think for, all the new agency owners out there, anyone who's new starting or trying to sell something new in general, say you get into, financial advising for a company, you get an insurance for a company, or you even get the, even if you're out there doing car sales or whatever, you really have to believe that this is going to be something that's really going to help benefit this person. And it's something that they need in their life. They're coming to you for a solution to their problem. It's actually, people complicate sales a lot. I think it's super easy. It's really, hey, listen, this person has a problem. They got a situation. You have an answer to their situation and their problem. It's going to cost, this amount, and it's going to solve these problems. And that's really about it. Everything else in between is just building up that trust with each other that you're going to provide what you say, and they're going to hold up their end of the bargain as well.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's all about trust, man. And, it's funny. because I do have a manager at the other company, right? Even though it's my own business and I have my own stuff and I'm all, 1099 and everything,
Mm-hmm.
still have somebody that overlooks over me. And he tells me all the time, he's like, how do you close clients and you never wear a suit? And I'm like, because people don't buy from a suit. People buy from who they're talking to. Like, you guys are so big on wearing a suit, man. I wore a suit for 10 years because it was enforced. But now I'm 1099 and I have my own business, basically. I created my own entity outside of that, and I told them, I'm like, all these people I talk to are people I know. They trust me because I don't need to wear a suit, man. They know who I am. People want to buy from me. They don't want to buy from the company I work for.
Do you think it's one of those things too, where, because I'm big on that too, but do you think it's one of those things where being yourself and coming off as yourself is so much more important than trying to put on a facade? Like, some people love to wear suits and that's just their style, that's their fashion sense, and do you absolutely no hate, do whatever you love to do. But do you think it's one of those things where people can kind of read between the lines of, is this person just putting on this front, or as opposed to showing up and, like, if you look at me, if you watch this podcast live and you see me with this like bird ass, like flowered shirt on, that's just me and who I am. And I'm not afraid to show that because I stand behind what it is we do. And at the end of the day, I mean, like you said, people are going to buy from you because they trust you and your personality, and not the fashion you put on, I'll say.
I honestly, I have a best friend. He's really my best friend. He hates that I don't wear a suit. He hates it. He's like my best friend. I love him to death, but he hates it, right? And I wore a suit for like 10 years, dude, working at the bank. I have so many suits, dude. It's not that I don't have one. I have one. And I put it on from time to time, right? One of the things I have learned in sales is you have to adjust to who your clientele is.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes you do have those people that you can just read them and you're like, a suit's going to do it, right? But it's not that I don't like to wear suits. I love to. I actually do love to wear suits because I think I look very nice and it hides my ugliness. And I look better, right? So
just a little bit. You get the power frame. You feel a little bit more confident.
I go from like a 3 or 4 to like a 5, right? So it makes a difference, So I do enjoy it, but I think because I wear a suit for so long, dude, like I really read my audience, and in majority of my audience, I don't really feel like I need to, right? Majority of the audience I talk to, I already know them in a personal level, right? I already know who they are. So they've already seen me without one, right? Majority of the time. And the people that I do when I talk to clients, I talk to them on the phone, right? And when I meet them in person, so just wear like a nice polo and they're cool with it, Most business owners don't even wear a suit themselves, man. And I think the other thing is, times have changed. We're in 2021 and things are a lot different. Things are a lot different for sure. And it's not like that anymore. But one thing I will say is, no matter when it is or what it is, majority of people will read through you, like you said. Majority of people will read through you and they read through the lines and they just know who you are, right? Like, you can just tell when someone is full of BS or someone's trying to sell you or someone's a salesman, and you can tell when someone is actually genuinely trying to care for what you're doing, right? And or at least somewhat care what you do, right? Because most people, regardless, they're still salesmen, right? And people know that. Like when somebody talks to me on the phone and they're trying to sell me on something, and I'm a salesman, dude, I already know. It was like, just
all the tips and tricks. Same with me. I get on the phone with people. I'm like, dude, like I know what we're doing. I know we're doing the dance here.
But if they sound really nice, I'm willing to listen, even though they're 100%. Going through their whole little speech, right? I'm like, you can just read the voice and the tone of voice of somebody, right? Like and I just be like, yeah, you know what, man? I know you're trying to sell me something. It's cool. I respect it. Let me hear what you got. I'm down to listen just because you sound like a nice guy. But if somebody sounds like straight up just like, oh, I'm gonna tell you this, nah, bro, I'm cool.
We got off all that.
Yeah.
I think the key takeaway from that is being super genuine, trying to lead forward with as much value as you can. Because obviously it's gonna feel a little awkward when you're when you're first starting out, and you're gonna find your own sales voice, I suppose. You're gonna find your own sales voice, but at the end of the day, it's one of those things where if you come across genuine and you have a conversation, you have a more genuine conversation with someone and you're really trying to have their best interest and just explain, hey, listen, I know you got this going on. This is what I think I could do to help you. If you're interested, you want to check it out. I'd love to do it. That's just how I sell personally. But at the end of the day, it's, you know, it's one of those things where people can read between the lines. You say people have BS meters, and people's BS meters are getting better every day, I like to think, simply because of just the day and age we live in, and how much access to information we have.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. You're 100% right. You know, and no, man, I've been doing sales my whole life, dude. So been selling since I was like in, like the 3rd grade or 4th grade, something like that, dude. So
slinging candy or what? Like,
it's a long story, dude. But when I was a kid, dude, my mom was in sales too, right? So it's been in my family the whole life. My dad was in sales, even though I've never really known him, but he's been in sales too. My uncles were in sales, so everybody in my whole family has been in sales the whole life. And yeah, dude, when I was little, I used to buy toys at the store, and I'd come to school and resell them for more. And my mom would help me hustle this. And I got in trouble a couple times, and she'd be like, well, what do you do wrong? There's nothing in the school book that says you can't do that. Dude, she had my back, bro. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, Dante, I know you got a business to run. I know you got a lot of things to do, man. I do appreciate your time so much. Is there anything you want to tell everybody where to find you? You know, if they send you some accountants, anything like that?
You guys can follow me. You guys can follow me on Instagram. I'm not on there too much, Dante_Stone. I'm much more active on LinkedIn. For accountants, we post a lot of really cool, valuable stuff. You guys can check out our website, idcreativedesigns.net. You'll find me and my business partner on there. Dante Stone on LinkedIn. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, just never give up. Just keep showing up every day for yourself, for your clients, for others. Just keep showing up. That's it. That's the secret to life. Just keep showing up.
Keep showing up, man. And also, guys, Dante may have something big coming up for accountants as well, right, Dante? With some type of broadcasting or something, or some type of episode.
I'm super excited about it. We're launching I don't know
if I slipped up there and I said too much, but you
No, it's all good. It's basically we created this really awesome course for brand new bookkeepers, tax preparers, accountants. If you're brand new and you're like, I don't know how to get clients, and you're setting off on your own and you're not sure how to get clients, we've created a pretty great mini course on how to get your online presence set up correctly and how to reach out to people, how to talk to them, how to leverage referrals how to leverage referrals once you get clients, how to ask your clients for reviews, and really just how to be found online and how to transition to becoming more digital. And so we're super excited about that. We got some good stuff cooking up. So
excited, man. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to having you here again as everything grows, and eventually I'll start having a bigger office and stuff, and everything will get going, dude. I'm excited. I really, you know me, I enjoy talking to people, so I'm looking forward to making this bigger and bigger.
Same, dude. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, thanks, bro. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing your success. I will talk to you later.